And a happy 4th of July, folks. So, if you hear, by the way, some people screaming background, there's someone having, I'm guessing, a pool party up the street. Yeah, so it's the 4th of July. It's second week of Magic Spoilers, and we have lots of stuff to talk about. We got Liliana the Last Hope. She's got an Oath card. We got a Legendary Spider, a couple cards I missed on Friday. They're just commons, but, going to talk about. And lots of other fun stuff. So why don't we just get to the headliner today, folks? So we have Liliana the Last Hope. Now, Liliana the Last Hope, and I'll look at her card up right here. You've seen the art already. I'm pretty sure if you've seen the Uncharted Realms, but there she is. Great artwork right there. Love that. Like, here's my armor, bitches. But Liliana the Last Hope is a 3 loyalty planeswalker for 1 generic, 2 black mana. Or 1 of any mana, 2 black mana. Now, her +1, again, 3 loyalty, so right there, she's 3 for 3. She's a solid start for a planeswalker in any shape or form. B. Now her +1, excuse me, is up to 1, basically just 1. Target creature gets -2/-1 until the end of turn. So it's really, while it can destroy some of the weaker stuff, it's more or less designed for slowing down an opponent. More or less bringing them to a halt, keeping her protected, which is what a planeswalker is supposed to do. In terms of protection abilities and +1s, it's a decent one. It's delay. It's not now. You're gonna need some other stuff on the field if she's going up against multiple creatures on the field. Then that's only gonna protect her so much. But for a +1 protection ability, it's okay. Her -2 ability is reminiscent of a lot of things we've already seen. Put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard. Into your graveyard. You may return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. So it sets off Delirium, and it can get you a creature back from your graveyard. Very important because it doesn't say among those cards that you discard, put a creature in the graveyard. It just says put a creature card from your graveyard into your hand. So you play her early, this ability is not going to be the most, you're more likely still going to be able to have a creature in the graveyard with the mill ability if, and it says may, so you don't have to. But really where you're going to get that value is more later game, mid-game more, I'd say, not late game. Yeah, mid-game when you definitely are creatures in the graveyard. And then her -7, which, to be fair, it would take 4. Most people don't play a planeswalker for... most people don't play a planeswalker for their ultimate ability unless it's an easily accessible ultimate. This is no exception. Her ultimate is good, but it's not with starting at 3 and only having a +1. It's not the easiest thing to do. So her -7 is get an emblem. You get an emblem at the beginning of your upkeep or end step. Sorry, put X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens into the battlefield, where X is 2 plus the number of zombies you control. Now I'm noticing that feature showing up a bit more in these cards in this set. I'm kind of curious what the meaning behind that is. In terms of the story element, we know why the story element. She's got the zombie. She's a necromancer. She creates zombies. Overall, though, it's a very solid card. Again, if I'm in black, if I got her, I will be using her. There's no question about that. She is good as Liliana of the Veil, or not Liliana of the Veil. The last one from the original Innistrad block. I don't remember that one off the top of my head, but I know for a fact that one saw lots of tournament play, all that. That being said, I don't know for certain. All I know is that the reason she's the last hope is because apparently zombies, because they basically have no free will of their own, they're already dead, and basically the undead are not affected by Emrakul's influence. Also, we know that Emrakul is going to be taken down in this set, simply for the fact that we now have her Oath card. Her Oath card is Oath of Liliana, which I watched the Access Magic video on this card, and her full oath is just like, together we are stronger, stronger together. Something like, I can't remember the exact quote for the full. I can't remember the dialogue for the full quote, but something along the lines of, "Together we are stronger than alone." If it'll mean if it'll mean a greater chance of meeting my goals or something like that, I'll keep watch. Except I didn't know that when they said it, they didn't add the very last part of it, which is I'll keep watch. Happy, oh, you can't read it, but happy now. Now this is a 2 generic, 1 black legendary enchantment. Oh, when Liliana enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Multiplayer, big card, especially if you're running multiples of it. I mean, Commander, you can only run one, but they're all you can play multiplayer games without being Commander. So why if you're this is even if it's just 1-on-1, you can run multiple copies of this, and it's still relevant each time you play it. It's a sacrificer. It doesn't it targets the opponent, it doesn't target the creature. So that is a very powerful card right in its own right. And then it has that same whenever a Planeswalker comes to the battlefield effect. Beginning of each end step, if a Planeswalker enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token into the battlefield. So you're getting creatures to protect your Planeswalkers as well as the Planeswalker itself. So a very solid oath. Would I say it's the best of them? I don't know. I'm not really good at judging the oaths that much. I think I only have one oath, to be honest. Yeah, I only got one of them. I got the Oath and Nisa. Now, I was just going to quickly go over the cards I got spoiled Friday that I didn't get to, and over the weekend as well, before I get into the other stuff that got spoiled today. So we have, I'm not going to really bother giving you, well, I can, I suppose. We got Walking Ghoul, which is a 1/3 zombie. Don't worry, my sweet brother, or don't worry, sweet brother, help is on the way, Ghoul Caller Gisa. When Wailing Ghoul enters the battlefield, put the top 2 cards of your library into the graveyard. Again, good for setting off Delirium. There it is, by the way. So yeah, there she is. She's got this weird kind of like wild woman vibe going on her. But it's got a butt on it. It's only 2 mana, so you can play it. It's got a butt, block some stuff, get some Delirium off. It's an okay card. Peace of Mind, which apparently is a reprint. It's an enchantment. 1 generic, 1 white. And pay 1 white, discard a card, and you gain 3 life. I do like this the flavor on this though. Not all minds are touched by Emrakul are turned into raging turned to a raging psychosis. Some simply withdraw from this world into memories of better ones. So there it is. It's just this old woman kind of just hiding out here, just in her mind. We got a reprint of Prey Upon, except now it's a werewolf versus a mutant werewolf. And if you don't know Prey Upon by this point, you have been living under a rock. So yeah, there's the actually, let me that one I will enlarge simply because small art isn't yet doing it justice. Let's see, Prey Upon. So there we go, Prey Upon. So that gives you a better look at the. There you go. Yeah, look at that. Werewolf versus freaking Eldrazi werewolf. Good stuff. So that was basically all the stuff that we missed, or I missed anyway, on Friday. Moving on to some of the other new stuff, we have Turn Aside, which again I believe is a reprint. It's got some good art on it. Counter target spell that targets a permanent you control, which is usually a very and there's the new art for it. I'm pretty certain this is a reprint. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it just looks like it's holding the moon. But it's a very useful card because a lot of stuff that targets permanents. So it's a very useful card if you're in blue to have. Then we have this. This one I actually missed this one. Let's start fresh, shall we? Summary Dismissal. A 2 generic, 2 blue. Exile all other spells and counter all abilities. Huh. I mean, that's useful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not saying counter the spells, though. Anytime I see those cards, it's a trap in my mind because it's not saying counter the spells. It's saying counter abilities, which is useful. It's very useful. But I don't know how you play. Even as a blue player, I'm not quite certain the timing of that card. So the cards like that just look like a freaking trap to me to play. Now that being said, yeah, you exile the spells, I suppose, but you don't. They still get off, but they're exiled. They can't bring them back. So I suppose, and they don't set off Delirium or anything like that. So I suppose there's that advantage. But those cards just look like a trap to me. Then we have this. Now this was sorry. Now this is a weird one. I like the art. Yeah, the art's pretty cool. Look at that art. I thought it was like almost like Jaws for a moment, but it's actually just weird cherry branches with candles on it. Providence, 5 generic, 2 white. You may reveal this card in your opening hand. If you do, at the beginning of your first upkeep, your total life becomes 26. Your life becomes 26. I'm not repeating that. That's literally repeated. I mean, you can't. I know it's in verse, but if you look on it, you can see the second line of text there. Its main effect is to make your life 26. Arbitrary and weird much? I mean, yes, 26 is double of 13. I get because 13 is the unlucky number. There's a lot of stuff that goes with 13 in this set, and in the last Innistrad as well. But 26? I mean, I remember the one from, was it Time Spiral, Future Sight, or Planar Chaos? I think in Planar Chaos. Where it had suspend and it cost 8 naturally, and I had that card, but you can suspend it for like the 1 white mana or something white mana, and yeah, 1 white mana you can suspend it for a certain amount of turns. It comes out and you would gain 20 life, which life gain is not always the best strategy to go. It's never terrible to have more life, but it's not a strategy you should normally focus on. I do have a deck that does focus on it, but has other things that go with it, like tokens and stuff. So I don't know. This is just weird. I mean, yes, 26. It's not even you gain 26 life. It's that your life becomes 26. If you gained 26 life, that would be different. That would bump this up from being just kind of weird and not good, kind of, to weird and maybe playable and some casual. But I mean, I might use it in a deck once just to see how it works. You know what it reminds me of, honestly? It reminds me of that card from the Kamigawa block. I can't remember the name of it, but it basically switched life totals around. So it kind of reminds me of that. Then we have Spirit of the Hunt, a 3/3 Wolf Spirit, and oh darn it, go back there. Wolf Spirit, 1 generic, 2 green, and if you then there we go. Come on, there, yeah, no, there we are. Flash. When the Spirit of the Hunt enters the battlefield, each other creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets a +0/+3 until the end of turn. There's the art on that one. Very cool. I mean, okay. I might have to just continue to do this again. And normally, most of the art's pretty good in this set, but it doesn't necessarily require me to show off the art that much. There we go. That's a much better look at it. Overall, though, solid card. It's 3 for 3 with Flash right there is usable. The fact that it pumps, is it other wolves or is it include itself? Actually, one second. Let me check that. Each other. Okay, but still. It's for the Wolf Werewolf Tribal, we've been, I wouldn't say we've been getting shit on, but we've kind of been, compared to some of the other stuff in the set, we've been a little lackluster on the werewolf stuff so far. I mean, we got Ulrich, who's pretty good, even though he's a little lackluster for a legendary. We got that, what is it, a 2/1, yeah, 2/1 for 1 green, Werewolf Eldrazi. That's a pretty good one. There's a couple other ones that aren't bad, but this definitely helps with the whole tribal aspect for the block as a whole. Then we have Collective Resistance. Now this is another escalate spell, and currently we have our green, our blue, we have our red. No, we don't have our blue. We have our black, we have our red, and we have our white escalate. We still have a green and blue to go to, my bread and butter colors, so I'll be interested to see how those look. Collective Resistance. 1 generic, 2 black. Or 1 generic, 2 black. 1 generic, 2 red. Sorcery. Escalate 1 of any color. So, at most, you'll be playing 2 red and 3 of any color for this. Choose 1. Or choose 1 or more. Target player discards all cards in his or her hand, and then draw that many cards. Collective Resistance deals 4 damage to target creature. Collective Resistance deals 3 damage to target player. Now, actually, I'm gonna have to check the other resistance arts real quick while I'm talking about this. Now that's got Liliana, Chandra on it. Let me just, you got to forgive me. I'm just checking the other one. Does the other one have Liliana on it? Oh, the other one does have Liliana on. So does the other one have Gideon on it? I mean, the other one's uncommon, so I'm not certain on that. Sorry about this. I'm curious now on the art, because if they do actually have each of the planeswalkers on, then it's obvious who's going to be on the green and blue one. Okay, where's that white one? Almost. Wait. No, okay, no, that white one does not have Gideon on it. But that being said, the white one's not a rare one, so maybe the rares and stuff do have the planeswalkers on them. Anyway, I think it's among the better of the Escalate cards so far. I definitely think it's the most playable because getting rid of resources on your opponent's side is a much stronger aptitude for these cards than just tapping them down or gaining life. Now, I could make the argument that the black one is useful in that regard too. It does discard card. I mean, yeah, I'd say the black and red one are the most useful ones, but I think the red one's a bit more useful because it can completely change up your opponent's strategy if it makes them discard their entire hand. I'd say leave that one for last if you're going to use all three of these abilities. It's the deal 4 damage to a creature and 3 to a player that's going to be the most useful. And it's only it only costs 3 mana. That being said, I'd say the black one's easier to get the escalate cost off because the escalate cost for the black is discarding. So tough call. I think I'd lean more towards the red, but I just like red better anyway. Then we move on to our legendary, basically the Shelob of the set of this block, if you will. So come on, there we go. Expand. So we have, and I'm going to try to pronounce this right, Ishkana Graf Widow. She is a mythic legendary creature spider, 4 generic, 1 green, 3/5 reach. There she is. I am the Spider Queen. Now she has Delirium. Whenever she enters the when she enters the battlefield, if there are 4 or more creature types among creatures in your graveyard, put 3 1/2 green spider creature tokens with reach onto the battlefield. You can pay 6 generic, 1 red, black. Target opponent loses 1 life for each spider you control. I'll have to double check what we have for the spiders and Shadows of Innistrad. In limited, this is okay. It's a 3/5 reach that as long as you get in Delirium off, it'll be able to dish some damage out a little bit. It's going to be able to create little spiderlings. Unfortunately, I thought this said maybe at the beginning of every upkeep, because if it said at the beginning of every upkeep, then this thing would be in the not hacks, but definitely in the upper echelons. But because it's only an enter the battlefield, it's only 3 spiders. And that means besides any other spiders that might be in the set or in the last set, in the limited environment, it's just kind of eh. And a commander casual environment, you can make, because you got the spiders reach and all that stuff. This thing is a freaking beast. This thing could be horrifying. But you got to build the right deck around it. That's the thing. This is a very build-around-me card. So, I mean, it's cool, though. We got a Legendary Spider. However, it's still not stronger than a Legendary Frog. So, Legendary Frog eats the Legendary Spider. I'm just waiting on the Legendary Snake myself, because I love snakes. Snakes are cool. And I'm not talking about Lotus Cobra. Actually, I don't think Lotus Cobra was a Legendary. So, my point remains. Nephilia, I believe that's the name of the city. Nephilia Academy. May knowledge be our sanctuary. If a spell or ability your opponent controls causes you to discard a card, you may reveal that card and put it on the top of your library instead of putting it anywhere else. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. I'm not going to really expand the art on there because there's not much to see, but yeah. This card's a trap. You're not going to lose your resources, but on this is a set that kind of wants you to discard stuff. Yeah, and then it just goes to the top. Now, is it a May ability? I mean, yeah, it's okay. It's a May ability. Okay, it's not as bad then. Because it's a May ability, it makes it much more useful because you can choose. If you don't want to lose something, then you can just decide to put it back on top of your deck and then just be like, okay, I'm going to get this card again and I'm going to play it on someone. But you got to be choosy with those. You can't just have everything go to the top of the graveyard because then you're going to stagnate. You're not going to have any new techniques, new strategies against an opponent. So it's a tricky card to play. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm not a huge fan of it, but we'll see what happens. Selfless Spirit, 1 generic, 1 white, 2/1. Spirit Cleric, flying. Sacrifice it, and creatures you control Gain indestructible to the end of the turn. It's a spirit that's taking a bunch of arrows. That's pretty cool. It's okay card. It's played more as basically like a sacrifice spell. But, well, it's a sacrifice. Play it more like a sorcery than a creature. So you can honestly swing in with it. Actually, yeah, you could swing in with it and play a couple other creatures again. Then, if they're about to be destroyed, you could sacrifice to save them for a turn. So it's not bad. Just it's okay. This one, on the other hand, this is a build around me. Holy crap, this is a build around me card. Okay. Deploy the Gatewatch. Gideon and Liliana may have not seen eye to eye, but did not stop them from fighting side by side. Deploy the Gatewatch. 4 generic, 2 white. Sorcery. Mythic. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put up to 2 Planeswalker cards among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest of them on the bottom of your library in random order. So, there's the art. That's some amazing story plot-driven art right there. The card itself... the term, for those of you who know it, obviously, but for those of you who don't know it, there is a term for those who run a heavy Planeswalker. Like, hey, Planeswalkers are actually like the main focus of the deck, type of deck. It's called Super Friends. You're running multiple Planeswalkers, at least 5 different Planeswalkers, usually of 5 different colors, so like a 5-color deck. This is the staple Super Friends deck card. This, because, seriously, if you're running a heavy Planeswalkers, the chance of, more Planeswalker run, more likely is to get 2 of them in 7 cards. But the fact is that this thing puts Planeswalkers onto the battlefield for free. Now, 1 Planeswalker is pretty likely, depending if you're running a couple. 2 is slim, unless you got, Scry is now an Everclear word. I'm pretty certain, meaning a mechanic, which means it does show up in nearly every set in some way, shape, or form, in small amounts. So if you can design your deck to have multiple, like within 7 cards, you'll have 2 Planeswalkers guaranteed kind of deck. Play this card, get your 2 Planeswalkers, and then you can put the rest at the bottom of your deck randomly in any order. That's a pretty serious card. Now, in Limited, you'll be lucky if you can get this off once. The Limited environment with both sets, there's 6 Planeswalkers in the whole of the set, so anything's possible. I can't guarantee anything. I wouldn't guarantee anything with that. But still, not a terrible card when used in the proper venue. And can you imagine a 5-color commander deck with this card, and literally you have every copy of a Planeswalker in that deck? Can you imagine that? That'd be hilarious. That is hilarious. No, but seriously, this is a very solid card for what it does, but it's not going to be doing it very often. It needs to be built around, but when it's working in the deck it's going to be in, it's a powerhouse card. So yeah, that's my thoughts on everything that was spoiled today. I don't think anything else is going to be spoiled today, but who knows. Thanks for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Be back tomorrow with more spoilers. Wednesday with Who Would Win and more spoilers. Thursday with Superhero Video, more spoilers, and Secret Life of Pets. And Friday with more spoilers, and the final bits of spoilers on Friday. And then box office on Sunday. Along with any trailers I feel we need to talk about, movie news I feel prevalent to talk about. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time.